evening and welcome to Biz RoundUp. I'm Tamiru Nimsat and we at our television bring you a collection of business highlights. Let's have a look at the headlines. Government allocates 1 billion rupees for New Year relief package. President stresses accountability and collaboration in public sector and international relations. Sri Lanka achieves highest January export earnings in 6 years. News in detail. President Anukumar Dissanayake has called for enhanced accountability and efficient use of resources within the public sector despite the constraints of a limited financial framework. President Anukumar Dissanayake said this during a meeting with ministry secretaries at the Presidential Secretariat recently.
The President emphasized that government officials must prioritize equitable fund allocation in line with the development goals outlined in the recent budget. Key measures discussed to cut public services costs include relocating government offices to state-owned buildings, auctioning high-maintenance ministerial vehicles by March, and addressing inefficiencies by merging or transitioning institutions to public-private partnerships. The President also acknowledged the negative public perception of the sector, attributing it to inefficiencies and employee dissatisfaction. President AKD stressed the urgency of addressing these challenges to improve overall efficiency.
Sri Lanka's tourism sector continues to soar in 2025 with over 175,000 tourists arriving in just the first 20 days of February, marking a 15% growth compared to the same period last year. Between February 1st and 20th, 175,436 tourists visited the island, bringing the year-to-date total to over 428,000, reflecting a 19% year-on-year increase.
Notably, India remains the top source, contributing more than 25,000 visitors this month, followed by Russia and the United Kingdom. Experts remain optimistic about reaching the ambitious 2025 target of 3 million visitors and 5 billion in tourism revenue. Key factors driving this growth include strategic marketing, improved infrastructure, enhanced airline connectivity, and a focus on ensuring safety for travelers. With a daily arrival average of over 8,700 this February, Sri Lanka is on track to achieve its yearly tourist arrival target.
Minister of Foreign Affairs, Foreign Employment and Tourism Vijitha Herath reaffirmed Sri Lanka's commitment to global disarmament, addressing the high-level segment of the Conference on Disarmament in Geneva recently. Minister Herath, highlighting the nation's recent accession to the Treaty on the Prohibition of Nuclear Weapons and ratification of the Comprehensive Nuclear Test Ban Treaty in 2023. He called for legally binding measures to ensure nuclear disarmament and emphasized the need to address modern challenges, including the weaponization of artificial intelligence and the risk of an arms race in outer space. Sri Lanka's leadership in championing humanitarian disarmament treaties and nuclear-free zones was also underscored. The minister urged collective action to rebuild trust in multilateral processes, calling this a critical juncture in ensuring global peace and security for future generations. Minister of Foreign Affairs, Foreign Employment and Tourism Vijitha Herath also delivered an address at the high-level segment of the 58th regular session of the Human Rights Council recently. In his speech, Minister Herath highlighted Sri Lanka's transformative journey following the November 2024 elections, emphasizing inclusivity in governance. The minister noted the record number of women and diverse community representatives in Parliament, showcasing the country's commitment to equality and representation. Minister Herath detailed significant strides in addressing economic and social rights, with the 2025 national budget prioritizing welfare, education, healthcare, and the development of conflict-affected regions. He also introduced initiatives like the Clean Sri Lanka project, which promotes good governance and environmental sustainability. Reconciliation efforts, including the restoration of Northern Province infrastructure, empowerment of Tamil-speaking youth, and plans for a Truth and Reconciliation Commission were key highlights. The minister also announced the proposal to declare a Sri Lanka Day to foster national unity. Stay tuned. We will return after this short commercial break. Welcome back after the break. Sri Lanka's exports are off to a roaring start in 2025, earning over $1.33 billion in January, a 10.3% year-on-year growth and the highest January earnings in 6 years. According to the Sri Lanka Export Development Board, merchandise exports increased by 3.51% to over $1 billion, while service exports soared by 38%, reaching $329.37 million. Agricultural exports led the charge with a 14.87% growth, driven by packaged tea sales, coconut-based products and spices like pepper and cloves. The apparel and textiles sector posted a remarkable 21.1% increase, despite declines in key markets like the US, UK and EU. The gems and jewelry sector shone brightly, growing 28.23% with strong demand from the US and European markets. However, setbacks were recorded in rubber products, electrical components and seafood, with fresh fish and shrimp exports seeing sharp declines. The US remained Sri Lanka's largest export destination, accounting for 23% of total exports, with shipments up by 18%. India showed remarkable growth at 43.86%, becoming the second largest market, followed by the UK. With a target of $19 billion in export earnings for 2025, Sri Lanka is charting a promising path toward economic growth, bolstered by innovation and resilience. Deputy Minister of Finance and Planning Dr. Harshana Suryaperuma said that the budget 2025 is aimed at making all sectors of society contribute and also benefit from the country's economic development. The Deputy Minister said this speaking at the annual Bankers' Convention held in Colombo recently.
As a nation, we are ready. As a nation, we are planning to seize the opportunity right ahead of us. That is why the budget is focusing on the growth to take the country to the next level. The potential ahead of us is enormous. So therefore, we wanted to focus on the solutions that the country can offer to businesses, to citizens, investors, to join this journey to take the country out of this situation where we are now and to the future that we all wanted. In that journey, we wanted to make sure no one is left behind, because while some share the fortune, there will be many other groups, vulnerable groups, who are not able to access some of the economic opportunities. As a result, they are being left out. Purpose of this budget is to ensure no one is left out in the process. Let it be children, disabled, differently abled, vulnerable groups, all are provided opportunities to join and contribute to the growth story of the country.
Speaking further at the event, the Deputy Minister said that providing support to the small and medium-scale businesses to grow and developing human capital is an integral part of the proposed economic growth. The Minister said that allocating sufficient resources to develop human capital is bound to pay dividend in the future.
SME sector is a crucial part. We were very happy with the support that we received during the negotiations and the discussions facilitated with the input of the central bank as well, relating to the Parate execution. A lot of support were extended, including up to 12 months of period, allowing SMEs to recover themselves before they start repaying. I'm sure you will be actively engaging, your respective banks will be actively engaging in facilitating those SMEs to come back to business, allow them to take part in the economic activities that will allow the economy to grow, for you all to have a better tomorrow as well. Investing in the human capacity is another item. Building human capacity is another item that we focused in the budget. What we invest now, similarly into assets, building human capacity will pay dividends in time to come. That's why university sector, education sector, healthcare sector, lot of investments, lot of allocations to ensure we provide adequate resources for those investments to support development of the human resources of the country.
Stay tuned. We will return after this short commercial break. back after the break. In preparation for the Sinhala and Tamil New Year, the government has announced a relief package to provide essential food items to low-income earners. Ministers K.D. Lanka and Vasantha Samarasinghe discussed the allocation of 1 million rupees for subsidized food items at a meeting held at the Presidential Secretariat recently.
Efforts to reduce bakery product prices and maintain the affordability of essential goods were highlighted. Additionally, the government is addressing concerns over the misuse of bank loans by some rice mill owners, with investigations ordered to ensure that funds are used appropriately to purchase rice stocks. The meeting also focused on expanding cooperative and Sadosa networks to make essential goods more accessible and affordable to the public. Plans include purchasing 250,000 metric tons of rice to prevent shortages while encouraging smaller rice mill owners to participate in procurement.
Sri Lankan tech startups and scale-ups took a significant step toward global expansion with an awareness session hosted by the Export Development Board recently. EDB Chairman Mangala Vijayasinghe highlighted the vital role of international market entry for the country's ICT sector, urging startups to tap into global opportunities, particularly in Europe.
The session featured CEO of the Asia Berlin Forum, Martin Rauschenberg, who provided insights into navigating Europe's tech ecosystem with a focus on Berlin, a hub for innovation and investment. Adding to the discussions was former ambassador of Sri Lanka to Germany, Manori Unambue, who shared strategies for leveraging bilateral relations and forging connections through Asia Berlin. Attendees explored topics such as market entry strategies, regulatory guidance, and the advantages of Berlin's dynamic startup ecosystem. The event also facilitated valuable networking opportunities with Asia Berlin officials, providing startups with connections to propel their global expansion efforts.
The Defence Ministry has announced plans to identify and arrest military personnel who are still in active service but have ties to underworld criminal groups. Defence Secretary Air Vice Marshal Sampathu Ekonta revealed during a special media briefing that intelligence reports have uncovered links between certain soldiers and underworld figures.
These connections are believed to stem from economic hardships and, in some cases, drug addiction. Tuyokonte acknowledged a concerning trend of armed forces personnel with weapons training deserting the tri-forces to engage in criminal activities or join underworld gangs. He emphasized that an order has been issued to arrest such individuals, assuring the public that the military and police are well equipped to track and apprehend them swiftly. Meanwhile, security measures for members of parliament are under consideration with final decisions pending threat assessment reports. This was discussed during a recent session of the Ministerial Consultative Committee on Public Security and Parliamentary Affairs, chaired by Public Security Minister Ananda Vijaypala.
With that, we wind up for today. For this and more, subscribe to our channel on YouTube and follow us on Facebook. See you tomorrow with State of Business at 7:45 p.m. Take care and good night.